Would you ever date a guy that made 200K?
Like a year?
Yeah.
No, what the?
Are you serious? You don't think 200K is a lot?
No. I want a guy that makes 200K a month.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
Would you?
I mean, like, 200K is like a lot of money. Like, my dad makes 200K.
But like, that's like your hardworking dad. Like, we live in a whole different generation.
That's true. It's easy to make money now.
Yeah.
Clearly. Look how much money we have and what do we do?
Yeah, I want a guy that makes more money than me. Like, what?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
200K a year ain't good enough, boys. That's only almost 2.5 million a year. In her case, that guy's lacking. He needs to make more than that. 200K a month. People who live in Dubai say if you want to live a good life over there, you can make 10 grand a month and you'll be fine. That's a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. But for these two donuts, that's miles away from their expectations.
Force, but the fact that you feel like because you're stronger than someone or you can overpower them, you're more entitled to some sort of
hang on,
thing.
listen so that you get it real quick. Hang on, just hear me out.
Yeah.
Inside of your society, you have rights, right? Those rights need to be enforced, right? So somebody doesn't violate them, right? Who's the enforcement
But
arm?
women's rights were mostly created,
It is usually physically.
in response
What
to
do you do
men.
with criminals?
I mean, you put them in jail, but
And
like,
who does that?
There's never been a female officer ever.
I'm not saying there hasn't been, but who does that? Who puts them in jail? And then who guards them while they're in jail?
I mean, I don't want to say that because I know women security guards that are rappers in jail.
You're speaking always to the exception. You always look to the outlier. It's not that there can't be some women who are on par with some men. It's that as a monolith, men are the grantors of force, the grantors of rights, and here's how. Whenever you need criminals dealt with in society, it's men who are going to be dealing with the criminals. They're going to be putting them in the jails. They're going to be enforcing your laws. They're going to be protecting you while you sleep through the military and through the force there.
But have we ever given women the opportunity to be in that place?
Fair play to Andrew Wilson because he shows next level patience when being on this podcast. And he's generally speaking, whereas they're just talking about a minority, exactly what he said. And we don't just have to look at the police and prison officers, we can look at sports. I mean, even boxing, for example, when the guys are boxing for 3-minute rounds and the women box for 2-minute rounds, and that goes all the way up to world title level. When I did my security course, the males had to do 25 push-ups and the females had to do 15. He's bringing facts to the table and they're just responding emotionally. There's a big difference.
What's your advice to guys who are 20s and depressed? We all just hate ourselves, like me. And Blake hates himself.
20s, you shouldn't be depressed. Actually, that should be the best times of your life. If you're being depressed, I would say get to the gym, work out, get outside, don't stay inside.
So you go to the gym, you work out.
I'll tell you this, when you're out there looking for a woman, you'll never find one. But when you're not looking, you're focused on yourself, that's what they stumble.
This guy, he hates himself. Tell him not to hate himself.
Absolutely, you should always love yourself.
A police officer told me that I should love myself. I love it.
That's some great advice right there. And unfortunately, that is a big issue a lot of us deal with across the board. The things I always think about is, like, when I'm older and I can't do the things I can do now, and you're sort of nearing the end of your life and your grandkids there and your kids and whatnot, and they say to you, what did you do when you were younger? And I don't want to sit there and say, oh, I did nothing, I watched Netflix, I went to clubs. You know, you got to think about that. You want to create a legacy, because that regret check is bigger than any other check you'll get in your life.
Is it true that being in the wrong relationship is far better than being single?
What?
Because I'm hearing so many people say that they're staying in bad relationships because they don't want to be on their own.
What the hell are you talking about?
Because they are afraid to be single. Now let me tell you, being single is so much better than being in the wrong relationship.
Well, she had us in the first half. First half of that, don't know what the hell she was talking about, not good advice. But by the end of it, she was right, so thumbs up from me.
I definitely grew up in a time with major pay disparity between the lead actor and myself, even though I had been in Bring It On and he hadn't.
Can you believe that Spider-Man made more money than me on the movie Spider-Man? He wasn't even in Bring It On. I mean, I know he was in 20 projects TV and movie before I was in Bring It On, but he wasn't even in Bring It On. How does Spider-Man make more money than me in the movie Spider-Man?
Why do you not talk to your girlfriends about your marriage?
Would a queen talk to a chambermaid about the king? How would the chambermaid understand what it is that the queen is going through or has to understand? Why am I going to go get advice from somebody who has a failed marriage, who doesn't understand what it's like to be with a man like that? Number two, if I go and tell my friend how horrible Grant was about something, which there's two sides of the story, and then I'm going to go make up with Grant, but now I've told them that Grant is domineering. Grant is controlling. He only thinks about himself. They're stuck with that. So now I've made up with my husband. I go hang out with my best friend, Susie Q. She's like, so how's Grant? Oh, is he doing the domineering thing again?
This is a very good point about, you know, when people gossip and they're left with what you last told them and they don't know if that's just not true. Like she said, they're stuck with that, and this just should advocate and prove that if there's any problems in your relationship, just keep them in the house between you two. You haven't got to put it on social media and talk to everyone you know about it, because what you tell them, that will stay with them.
Does society need men?
No.
You don't need men? Okay. Then throw away your Stanley Cup because it was invented by a man. Backpack, man. Remove your hair dye, man. Your iPhone, man. Starbucks, men. Makeup, man. Everything you use on a daily basis is thanks to men, including your existence. That's so tough.
Got him. What's the red flags you would have with a partner? The red flags I would have with a partner is basically a motherfucker that can't take accountability. Like, why is everything always the man's fault? But a woman don't ever want to say what she did wrong. But what did you do? And that's what I'm saying. What did you do? But they don't want to say what they did. It's always about you. Fuck that shit. It's accountability. Females don't want to take accountability for their actions.
So you find a woman that takes accountability, that'd be like, okay, you might take it serious.
Oh, you goddamn right.
Hell yeah.
Because that's what you need. You need accountability.
Hell yeah.
Well, I did this wrong. Or if you're trying to tell them something, you're like, look, this is what I mean. It's communication. If you ain't got communication, there's no fucking relationship. But when you're trying to tell a female, man, this is what I see wrong in you. This is what's going on with us. And if she don't want to fix it that way, that means she don't want to take accountability and she don't want to be real.
Yeah, we've said this many times, haven't we? That most women's kryptonite is accountability. You know, it's just not something you see often. You know, that's not all girls, but a lot of these girls with egos and stuff, you'll never see accountability as a trait. Let me tell you that. And I think that's across the board. I think that's just relationship problems. When there's things in court with relationships, the fingers are always pointed at the man first, more often than not.
I actually get guys coming up to me quite often on the street, but I've told my girlfriends that there's kind of like a rule, so it's always the weird ones who come up and talk to you. Most of the time I give them my number, but I know from right off the bat that I'm not interested, and then I just let things kind of fizzle out. At some point they get the memo.
Let's just call this what it is. This is a woman who is so desperate for attention that she'd rather lie to him, be dishonest, lead him on, and waste his time because her currency is attention. So of course she wants as much attention as she can get because she doesn't want to risk having nothing at all. You'd rather be dishonest and use a person for a couple of weeks because it gives you self-confidence, self-esteem, an ego boost, and probably makes you feel really good just because some Chad that ignored you for 2 weeks isn't giving you the level of attention that you want.
Yeah, she hit the nail on the head, especially with that last comment. You know, she's validating attention that she didn't get from a dude that she liked. And yeah, she's just time wasting. And these are the same girls that say, oh, guys need to be confident, they need to approach you and talk to you. But it's like rolling the dice, mate. You got one side, which will be she finds you handsome, attractive, whatever, and she'll be cool with it. And you better hope that she doesn't waste your time. And then there's the other side that you could do everything right, but if she doesn't find you attractive, she's going to call you a creep. So it really is just Russian roulette.
Having a little dinner. You want me to come sit next to you? I'll come over there and sit next to you if you want. Hey, will you take a picture of us?
No pictures. No.
What?
I need a whole new place, whole new atmosphere. What do I look like eating dessert in the same restaurant?
Let me get the door for you. Hold on.
I know this is just a skit, but this happens all the time, guys. Just be careful who you're taking out on dates, because I've said this before. There is plenty of girls who just don't want to cook that night, and they'll just use you to pay for dinner and bounce out of there. Be careful out there.